Hello everyone, my name is Mr. Dan Jax and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you a quick tutorial for this sugarcane farm right here. It is powered by observers and it is for Windows 10 and Pocket Edition. This may well work with PC, I don't really know, so be sure to let me know down in the comments whether this is compatible there as well. Let's show you how this works very quickly before we get onto the tutorial. Basically what's going to happen is, as a certain detector sugarcane grows next to the observer, it's going to send a pulse through the system and it's going to fire all of the sugarcane that have grown off their seeder sugarcanes into the chest. Let's get on with the tutorial. Okay, so to get things started, you're going to want up to a 12 wide space like I've got here, and you're going to want blocks either grass, sand, red sand or dirt to plant your sugarcane on. They're the four that you're going to be able to use. I'd advise grass or dirt simply because you don't need a block under them to keep them up in the air. So we're going to plant all of our sugarcane just along here, very simply as so. This is where the front of our farm is going to be, like you saw just previously. So on this front right corner here, place a piston facing upwards, a temporary block, and an observer with the cloaca facing away from you, and this little detector pad here facing towards that sugarcane. Block off to the side there and remove that block there. Place 3 blocks forward, like this, and 1 to the side, 2 more, and 2 more, just like so. Redstone dust on those first 4, just like this, and a repeater facing that way, and another one there with an extra tick. So one's on 1 tick there, one's on 2 ticks. 2 bits of redstone coming out of the side there. Grab another block and place a repeater on 1 tick facing away from those 2 redstone there. Oh, excuse me. Another block, and then off to the side there, another 2x2 square, and a block on this near right hand side corner, just like that. 2 more redstone dust there, a comparator facing that way, and a comparator facing the other way. This is our little pulse extender here as part of the system. We're then going to take a repeater output from this block here into another block, and now from there, where we were earlier, we're going to place another 3 blocks out and another one across. A repeater from that block we just powered on 2 ticks, just there, and a repeater on 1 tick going across, so we're going to actually lock that repeater off so we don't get mixed signals from the observer just there. So now, if you take a look, when we plant the sugarcane, that repeater is going to get locked off. So a pulse is going to go through it, and then it's going to get locked off, which is very important for this system to work. Otherwise we're going to get confusions with the observer. Excuse me there for my placement, that repeater is supposed to be there. Now we're going to place that repeater into a block, and we're going to come down quickly underneath that temporary block and just place another block there, and then remove that temporary block just like so. So now we're going to power this piston just down here where the observer is. This is going to pull the observer away from the slime block so it doesn't get pulled anywhere. So from there, just dust into there and dust going around the side like so. Just like you can see just there. You'll have to excuse me, my touch controls aren't especially, or my ability in using touch controls isn't especially great. You're going to want to place 2 dust here just underneath the block that we're powering there, and on the side here we're just going to place a redstone torch. If you just let me grab one out of my inventory, excuse me for my lack of preparedness, or lack of inventory slot should I say, on our hotbar. There's our redstone torch there, so you can see that this is now extended and it's now going to get pulled down as soon as that block is powered because of the way inversion works with redstone torches. And so from here we can use this block to power our piston to push all of our slime blocks into the sugarcane so they can all get harvested and collected nicely. Now, just as a recommendation, not a recommendation, a fact, any blocks that are going to touch slime blocks, apart from the piston, obviously, they're going to have to be immovable objects. Here I've used leaves. Leaves are a good example because they're fairly easy to harvest and they can be used to look quite nice as well. You saw I used them down there on the floor of my redstone test world. You can also use obsidian, and I believe melon and pumpkin are your best options. The way inventories work, the way NBT data works in Pocket Edition Windows 10, the way it differs from PC, note blocks and furnaces and things like that are actually movable, so we can't use them. But you want to place your 12 slime blocks over the water, just one block above, just like you've seen, and you're going to want to place a piston into them, a repeater into that, and a redstone just there into the repeater from that block that we've just powered earlier. So now, if we simulate some growth in the sugar canes, just like so, and then that one grows just there, our detector, they're all going to get pushed off, and the observer isn't going to keep pushing the pistons and creating a loop, which is a problem I found when I was making this farm design right here. But of course, why settle for one layer? If we go 2 blocks up, just like so, and then we bring our 12 blocks across, we can expand this farm as many times as we want, all the way up to the build limit. That's a bit of an overpowered sugarcane farm if you ask me, but if you have a big need for sugarcane, maybe you have a bookshop on your server or something like that, you're going to want to do that. On top of the slime blocks just there, place immovable objects. This is where we're going to have our water to hydrate the sugarcane. And of course, because they are touching the slime blocks, they're going to have to be immovable because we don't want them moving around. And in fact, we've got 12 blocks, they're not going to move because of the push limit for the pistons. We're going to make a border around here just so we can contain the water and not spoil our lovely redstone. We don't want to ruin that, do we? Grab ourselves some water, just like so, and place it down. The reach has changed. We're going to have to go up close to place that down, just like so. But now, all of the land next that we're going to place the sugarcane on is hydrated. It has some water next to it. It doesn't have to be a source block. It can just be flowing water as long as there is some water there. So if we place our sugarcane on, this is going to be our second row of cedar sugarcane. And just like before, we're going to go up 2 blocks above the water, just like so, and we are going to place our 12 slime blocks, just like so. Making sure that there is only 12, because if there's 13, like I said, the push limit is not going to happen. And so, to get this all firing, we're going to grab ourselves a redstone torch, and we're going to create a torch tower. This is going to help us move the redstone signal upwards. So from that block we powered with our repeater earlier, we're going to place a torch on that, a block on top of that torch, a torch on that block, and another block up like so, then a block off to the side like that. We're going to line up our piston just with this block that we've placed to the side here, so we're going to place some temporary blocks like so, get our piston facing into the slime blocks just like that, and remove those temporary blocks just there. And then we can just place 2 dust like so into that piston. Then from here, on that torch there, if you do the same process I just showed you, you can make as many layers as you want to, keep this farm going. And if you're on a particularly slow device, or you're on a server and you want to conserve lag, maybe put a repeater there, because having those extra ticks of delay, not all the calculations are happening at once, and it's going to run much smoother. So you can see just there how it works. The observer gets pulled down so there isn't a loop, and it works like a charm. It hasn't broken once for me. But of course, just as a side note, you don't want your sugarcane flying off into the sunset, never for you to see again. So I would advise, like I did below, building a glass wall if you want a nice presentable farm, if you want to put it on display, which I know a lot of people do. I'd advise putting glass here, because it makes no difference either way. If you're just hiding this away and you just want to see the sugarcane you get out of it, then you can just place whatever blocks you want. This is going to allow the sugarcane to hit that wall, and they're all going to drop down, and you can pop some chests down here, some hoppers or a water stream to collect. But there you have it. Thank you very much for watching. Leave a like, subscribe and comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!